Hello and welcome to another Doctor's System 1 video, and today I'm doing a video on should the Cybermen come back in series 12 of Doctor Who. I think that I personally don't think they should, in so much as we had them in series 10 and that was back in 2017, so it would be nice to have like a 3-year gap, 2017, 18, obviously series 11, no Cybermen, 2019, no Doctor Who, 2020, Doctor Who ideally, but then no Cybermen. But maybe you could have them in the New Year's special, you know, and then you could also like maybe set a precedent for each time you do a New Year's special, trying to reel in people with, as I say, the sort of fact that, you know, a recurring monster or character or whatever is there to drum up a bit more excitement and interest, ideally, even though that didn't, I guess, kind of work with Resolution, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I know Ace Cooper, a really good YouTuber, he basically did this sort of video on like the Cybermen being in Series 12, or at least that's the rumour from the Daily Mirror, I think, or some news outlet. Basically, it sounds very similar to that of Silver Turk. This story, this Big Finish audio, written by Mark Platt, back in 2011 it was released. Bloody hell. But yeah, it features the 8th Doctor and obviously the Cybermen and Mary Shelley as well, because that was what the rumour was, that they were going to do in Series 12, are going to do a Cyberman story with the Doctor and Mary Shelley and that. And I think, I don't know, it's just interesting. I get the feeling that like if the Big Finish company did a story similar to a new series story, that they'd be, you know, the Doctor Who team would be all like, no, oh my god, you can't do that, or whatever. Yeah, they're allowed to do that the other way, but I don't know. But then, as my mum pointed out, maybe they've bought the rights to the story, and that, meaning that like Mark Platt would still get credited, but they'd kind of own it, you know. And that, maybe, I don't know. It's just like, for me, I really like this story, and also McGann as well, a lot. Unfortunately, a lot more than obviously Jodie's Doctor, but you know, I mean, she's only had the one series, but as well, I'm not even that big of a Cyberman fan anyway. I like them, but I prefer the Daleks personally. But yeah, I think just, I don't know, I think if Series 12 is going to also have rumoured that sort of episode where it's about plastic and, you know, either having the Sea Devils or the Autons back for that one, then, you know, maybe having, say, the Ice Warriors or Sontarans as well, and the Jadoon, having like 3-4 bad guys, you know, in the main show as it is, like the core show, or that series, excluding the New Year's one, you know, that would make up for like 30-40% of the series and that, and I think that's a reasonable amount of sort of older baddies, you know, Jadoon, as I say, maybe the Ice Warriors. Well, with the Ice Warriors, yeah, they were also in Series 10, but for me, I feel like they're, you know, sort of B tier rather than A tier, like the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master, really, or even Davros, you know. So I think, yeah, I think it could be cool, and I think if they did bring them back, it would be cool to have like a redesign, but much like with the Dalek story, I think it would be cool to have like a one-off Cyberman story sort of design, like how Resolution did it, even though that backfired on the Doctor Who team doing that, because loads of people still keep thinking that it's the, you know, main sort of design, which is a bit odd. It's just, I can't remember if in the Silver Turk, it has been a while since I've listened to this story, I can't remember if they have one Cyberman or if they only have a handful, but either way, I think if they do return in Series 12 or in the New Year's special, I do think that they should only have a handful of Cybermen and that, I do think it's a decent enough idea. It's just, as I say, if it's been done already or better, or in my opinion better, or to a high standard, I can't really say better because I haven't seen the episode I would be comparing it to, but at that point it's already kind of got a bit of a loss, or it's, you know, I don't know, it's just, yeah, I mean, obviously the Cybermen should come back at some point, it's just thinking when. I think, again, considering how, like, it wasn't just, like, one Cyberman design, and that, like in, say, Dark Water, Death in Heaven, World Enough and Time and the Doctor Falls was, like, the, you know, Asylum of the Daleks, but actually done right, but with the Cybermen, you know, in so much as it was, you know, it was, the Mundasian Cybermen, it was the, you know, it was the, as I say, Mundasian Cybermen, it was all manner of different Cybermen from new and old, and that, like the Lumic Cybermen, I guess, as well. And so yeah, it's just, I'm just thinking, like, what I'm just thinking, like, whether or not they, I don't know, like, it, like, I'd want some sort of breathing space between the two, sort of stories, really, you know, so, like, the Jodie Whittaker one done, whether it's good or bad, overshadow Peter Davison, Peter Capaldi's sort of last-ish sort of episode of sorts. I know Twice Upon a Time is, but you know what I mean. And that it doesn't either overshadow it, whether it's bad or not, or good or bad is irrelevant. It will, because it's the most current thing, and obviously Doctor Who fans want to talk about that more than anything, I guess. But by the same token, I don't want, you know, like, yeah, I don't want, like, I don't know, it's difficult, really. It's just, I want there to be breathing space, I guess, and I do obviously want Jodie to fight off against the Cybermen at some point. I just, as I say, I might not want it as soon as everyone else, you know. Again, we've got the Jadoon confirmed for Series 12. Having maybe the Autons or the Sea Devils would be really good. Either way, I'm fine with either of those as bad guys. And then, you know, as I say, Ice Warriors or Santarans or both. Then you've got, like, 3-4 baddies, you know. Again, you've got, you know, a substantial amount of baddies, in my opinion. I think of various, you know, grades of, you know, importance in the Doctor Who legacy, I guess. You know, but yeah, I think, and also thinking about it, it'd just be nice to give the Doctor Who team more time to sort of, you know, refine, air out different ideas and spitball different ideas, and if they have got this specific Mary Shelley and or Doctor Who, yeah, Mary Shelley type story, 110% that's what they're going for, as the sort of rumour is, then, I don't know, like, just let them, you know, have as much time as they need to do as good sort of Cyberman stories they want to tell, really, you know, because the last thing I would want is for them to feel pressure and rushed and then, you know, come out with absolute, you know, garbage and that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And also, sorry about if I'm being very stuttery and a bit all over the place and pausing a lot in the video. But yeah, I don't know. I've also sort of started to appreciate the sort of newest Iron Man sort of design, and that I've got more used to it. It could be cool, like, maybe have them in the story, have them in it partway through, and then maybe they get destroyed and then they have to, like, remake themselves out of new parts again, almost mirroring, I guess, the sort of Dalek. Maybe you could have, like, a steampunky type Cyberman, I don't know. Granted, you could argue maybe people are sick of the whole sort of having to make things from scrap and that sort of motif of the Chibnall era, really. Because sometimes it does kind of come across and makes people feel like what they are doing is kind of cheap, you know, whether it's the sonic screwdriver or whether it's the Dalek and that. Some people have probably aired those grievances online, I'm not 100% sure, I mean, but yeah, either of the Dalek or the Cybermen, so maybe just having like a new design but it be pristine and elegant looking would be nice, maybe, I don't know, for a lot of fans. But yeah, those were just my thoughts on whether or not, or should the Cybermen come back in Series 12 of Doctor Who. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should, necessarily. But technically, again, I would like them maybe in the New Year special. Just give Series 12 some time to focus on, as I said, the Jadoon, the new monsters, the you know, Ice Warriors, or the Autons or Sea Devils, or both, maybe even, which would be amazing if we got both, because I love both. And that, even though, yeah, I guess Autons aren't really A tier either, but yeah, those were just my thoughts. So again, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe. Even.